laughing. It's drive time. Oh, never mind.
No, I'm not laughing at anybody.
Your big friend, 570 WNAX.
And a good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to your afternoon 5-State Farm Report. Danielle Drotzman, your host here for 570 WNAX. Well, today we are kicking off your program here with a special guest we're excited to have on. I have with me Peyton Schumann. He is the Executive Director of Government Relations with the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. So, Peyton, thank you for joining us here today. How are you doing? Oh, I think I lost him. Hold on. We'll play a ad here and we'll get back into it. Hold on one second.
It's that time again. Bullseye Fireworks, home of the Big Red Bull. Located in Yankton, 1 mile east of John Deere on Highway 50. They have a great selection of fireworks, over 50 new items. Shop in an air-conditioned building and get free fireworks with every sale. Bring any coupons, and they'll match them. You are going to like this year's fireworks variety and quality at Bullseye Fireworks, East Highway 50, Yankton. Open daily, 8 a.m. to midnight.
Okay, now we're back here with your afternoon 5-State Farm Report, and we had a phone difficulty there. The call dropped on Peyton. So again, Peyton Schumann, Executive Director of Government Relations with Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. So Peyton, how are you today?
I am good. Like we said, it's, 95 degrees and humid and hot down here in Texas, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
So especially with all the rain we've been getting, we've really needed rain down here in Texas, and thankfully we're being provided that right now.
Well, good deal. Yeah, I think here in South Dakota, we had a couple days of rain, I guess, in our Yankton area, and then now it's sunny and 75. So, yeah, looks like we're getting rain all over the country, which is a good thing. So, I guess with that, we're excited to have you on here today and just visit a little bit more about New World screwworm, as you guys have been in the news a lot recently down in Texas. We've been hearing a lot about you guys up here in South Dakota. So, maybe first, let's just fill us in on kind of the latest news and cases kind of revolving around New World screwworm as it's now in the U.S.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Well, yeah, last time we spoke, it was still a lot of this monitoring. And I think all along, many of our producers, our association and others, we knew it would get here, just when. I will say that we've been extremely supportive of USDA. There was a lot of people saying that it was going to get here last year. And because of USDA efforts and through the sterile flies they've been able to drop with the limited amount they have, and we'll get into that more here in a minute, but they've been able to keep it at bay, and it's been, I think, a huge asset because we've been able to get more producers ready for this. So it hasn't really caught us off guard. I will tell you, as of right now, we'll probably be getting a report later today at 3 o'clock. We get on daily calls with USDA and our state agencies that handle this response, which is our Texas Animal Health Commission, where our state vet resides, and then our Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, which has all authority over native wildlife species. We get on a call with them once a day. And so we usually hear updated numbers and cases, but as of right now, there's 8 counties in Texas with 13 cases, active cases. A lot of those are in bovine, obviously. Luckily for us here in Texas, a lot of people we had already gotten out of our calving season. But as many of your listeners probably know, there's always a pesky bull out there that gets into some cows, and you've got maybe some late birth rates. And that's actually the index case, the very first case found in Texas. That's what happened. It was a calf that was born after they had already done all their calving, and so it was a late season calf. And it was just in time for the temperatures to be warmer, and that calf ended up getting a case. But that producer that found it is one of our directors, did everything by the book, followed USDA's protocol, and that calf I saw 2 weeks ago, happy, healthy, with its mama, drinking milk, and everything is good. So, I think that's one of the biggest things for your listeners and everybody to know is, 1, meat is safe to eat, and 2, this is a highly, highly treatable pest.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, it's kind of not really a life or death situation, kind of more of just like, yeah, you got to treat it. So, I mean, I guess with that, I mean, is there any big concerns among the ranchers in the area now, or just kind of, at the moment, just be prepared for it?
Yeah, so that's been one of the biggest things we've been saying. The best tool in our toolbox right now is our set of eyes, whether that be your eyes, some cowboys you have working for you, and just making sure you're regularly checking your animals, especially as, like we were saying here in Texas, the weather is warmer. It's going to stay warmer. We're getting moisture, and the fly, that's the type of environment they like. They like any weather above 65 degrees, and they like a little bit of that tropical humidity and a little bit of moisture in the air. And so we're kind of in prime time for it. And so the biggest thing for our producers and for the folks here in Texas, we're telling people is just surveillance, surveillance, surveillance. Watch your animals, keep your eyes on your animals, and treat when you can, and report. There's been a big rumor, big things kind of going around that, man, in Texas, they're putting quarantines on people. Animals can't move. This is like a communist country. That is the furthest thing from the truth. What we have is you've got what they call an infested zone. So that's where the case actually happened. They put a radius around that of, I think, about 12 miles. And then those animals in that, they can still move, but you do need a animal health inspector and a veterinarian to check those animals before you move them, and to give them a preventative like ivermectin or Dectomax, and then you give them a identification, and then they get a CVI, and they're free to move. Then you have the surveillance zone around the infested zone, which is another 12-mile radius, so it's a total of 24 miles. That zone, you're free to move, as is the rest of the state. You're free to move business as usual. So that's been one of the biggest things on the ground people have been kind of worried about. But if you report, USDA knows where to put the flies. So we've really been encouraging our producers to do flies. And actually, another thing we've ramped up, and we're partnering with Texas Farm Bureau on this, is we're starting to hold a lot of educational seminars. We did some last year, but we're really ramping them up now. And I'll tell you, as of last week, we did one in Fredericksburg, and we had over 1,000 people there, and the Secretary Rollins came. And then tonight we're going to Hallettsville. There's going to be over 1,200 people there. Every single one of these that we've been setting up, we have had to change venues to accommodate more people. So we're reaching a lot of producers that we might not have reached as we were preparing for this. And so, I think people are really comfortable on the ground. One thing I would like to just highlight is how well the relationship is working with USDA and how willing they are to listen to producers on the ground. That very first case, the manager of that ranch, our director, did everything correctly. They saw a calf that was had a swollen navel, so they roped him. They pulled him closer. They immediately put him on a concrete slab, which is important to note because you don't want those larvae falling into the soil where they can pupate into a fly. So they put him on a concrete pad. They started inspecting the wound, treating the wound, pulled out the maggots, and sent them to their veterinarian. The problem is with that very first case, it had to be sent to Ames, Iowa, to the National Veterinarian Diagnostics Lab. So that took a couple days to get that confirmation back. And in that time, you had all kinds of people on Facebook and everywhere else making claims. And so we asked USDA, can we not use the USDA facility in Kerrville, Texas, to start getting confirmations quicker so that we can dispel a lot of the rumors or let the rumor mill? And they immediately did it. Same with us talking to FDA through USDA and saying, ivermectin and Dectomax are name brand. What if we get to a situation where we need to use generics? They're already working on that as well. And so I would say that, other than we're just trying to calm people, highly treatable, and USDA has been an amazing partner. The administration and Secretary Rollins, her team, second to none.
Gotcha. Well, that's very good to hear, and glad you guys are working towards the right direction just to kind of help combat the insect. But I guess with that, we're kind of coming up here to 10 minutes, kind of on the end of our time here. But I guess, do you want to leave us with anything, or just maybe some of the efforts about what you guys are doing as an association to help out, or I guess anything kind of to wrap up with?
Yeah, sure. So I would love to wrap up with one. Yes, we are looking at ways, like I said, to get out of an infested zone or to move your animals, there is an injectable you need to give. So we're trying to think, is there some type of cost share program or something to make that easier on producers that are needing to acquire these drugs and give them? And then I'd love to hit on the facilities. There's been a lot of talk about when we're going to get more sterile flies. Luckily, the secretary is going down to Mexico, I think this week or next, to do the ribbon cutting on a Mexican facility in Matapa that is fully owned by USDA. So all of the flies produced there are going to be at USDA's disposal, and they should be able to start producing flies in July. And then you look at the bigger facility they've got building in Edinburgh, Texas, and Mission, called Moore Air Base. That has now actually been moved up to April of next year, that it is going to come online. So I think it's really important for listeners to know that for probably the first time ever, USDA, Department of Interior, Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, FDA, all of the agencies are working together to get us drugs faster approved, to get these facilities and sterile flies approved quicker, so that we can beat this thing and push it out of Texas and hopefully eradicate it altogether. And so those are some of the things we're kind of looking forward to and watching. And just thank you so much for having us on. And we appreciate all of y'all watching this closely as well. We know that it affects everybody in the cattle industry, and glad to have partners like y'all that are checking in on us down here.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're glad to get you on, and just a lot of great information for us to know up here, since it's a ways away, but not really at the same time. So I guess, yeah, thank you for joining us here today, and it was a pleasure to have you on. So have a great rest of your day.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all too. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Again, that's Peyton Schumann. He is the Executive Director of Government Relations with the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. So with that, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll take a look at your markets here shortly.
The voice of the Midwest, 570 WNAX.
The Lewis and Clark El Riyadh